Hi guys, welcome to Manhood Explained. My name is Camille. Today is 10th of March 2020. Welcome to live number 74. Today I'm going to try to define manhood because when I just record those videos and just tell you to be the leader and take care of your girl, help her, or this kind of stuff, I can hear just somewhere hear you in the back of my head. Some of you saying, "Oh man, you're a wuss. You just all those years that you're in your marriage, you just do what she tells you to do." And then you think that you're a boss and you can say anything about your building relationships. But if you say something like this, I think you don't understand this whole thing, and that's why I thought maybe it is a good idea to kind of try to define this and tell you how I see this, because that will explain a lot why I tell you these things and why I'm saying that they work. So you see, there's there's tons of different approaches to building relationship. I see some extreme ones, and you've got to understand that what I kind of look for are the results, because they'll basically tell you if you're doing things right or not. And and that's why I think it's very good to kind of understand and look at this from this point of view, because there are at least four ways you can approach your relationship, and you can see that it's gonna fall. It's gonna work for some time probably, but then it's gonna fall, because we are overpowered in many aspects of life. We are having things that we're better, or much it's much easier for us to achieve some things than our ladies, and it's gonna go around as well. They'll have things that they're so good at that we will never be able to compete, and that's great because that's give us a position to help each other and kind of complement each other. We're wired differently. There's just so much things that it's even it's obvious. But then, if you see that we are, let's say, physically overpowered, meaning that we are, in general, statistically, we're stronger than women. I can see my wife; she's like half, weight of me, and I'm so much stronger. I would have no issues with using that strength to force her to do anything. But then this is what you see. You see guys who are overpowering their ladies in a relationship, and they basically abuse them physically. And there's many reasons for that. Lack of men in their life that will excuse me, that they'll show them that you should do it differently. Maybe you watch too much Hollywood movies, which basically put this thing in your head that you just have to be the strongest around. You have to rule by fear, and if something doesn't work, someone does something against you, then you retaliate, and there's always this vengeance. And obviously the 100 people are killed and no one goes to jail, right? It's like this whole Hollywood propaganda is just basically ruining your relationship, ruining you as a person. And then you see many people who are in gangs, or even being a person, and they feel that this is really good idea to use force against others and then use the same force against their girl. And that's why it just doesn't work. It can last for long because he's basically abusing her to the point that she's afraid to leave, and this kind of monstrous situations we see all the time. But is that what you want in a relationship? So physical abuse, then you can go and you don't have to use physical strength, but you can be forceful enough with your words that you can terrorize your girl to complete submission. You can scream at her, you can use vulgar language, and you can kind of amp up the fear in her, and it's gonna be the same thing like physical abuse. And interestingly enough, I don't know if what's the reason for it, but I heard some of the ladies said that this mental abuse is worse than physical one. I don't know if that's true, but that is something that I kind of think about when I think about the subject. This is something that it's kind of strange to hear from a woman, because it says that they kind of the emotional approach or seeing life might be even worse because it stays longer, and it's not visible. You don't see any scars on her physically, but it stays inside. So there's one thing to think about. So you can be physically abusive, you can be mentally abusive, you can be simply a narcissist. You can manipulate her to do things that you want, because if you've got some high level of IQ and you're intelligent enough, you can turn things upside down and inside out, and she just to the point that she's not able to have any argument with what you say, and it just has to do what you tell her to do. And you can see it in this kind of relationship as well. And then you can be abusive different kind of way, by manipulating, by using a victim mentality. And I heard about those situations, which is scary, that girl stays with guy in a relationship not because she wants to, because she would be out months ago, but she's still there because he says that if you're gonna leave me, I'm gonna throw myself under the train, or I'm gonna jump out from the window. And just they're so scared now, they don't want to have blood on their hands. They're afraid to leave, and this is complete insanity. But then each of these examples just shows you some different form of abuse. That's the underlying thing that happens in every case of this. You're just abusing her. You're just forcing her to do something just because you are able to overpower her, using some means to do so. But to understand how it's supposed to work, you have to look at how it was when everything was great. In most of the cases, like maybe in every case, is like when we just got together, when we were fully in love, when maybe we were like freshly married, when everything was like a bliss. What happened then? We were so much in love that I did everything for her, and even more, just because I loved her and I wanted to do something for her, and she did the same thing for me. And then it was like both ways, the kindness going both ways, to the point like over delivering, and we were so happy. But then life comes, and day to day kind of reality hits you in the face, and we kind of lose this ability to look at her from this love point of view, and she stops doing the same thing, and we kind of go down this rabbit hole of this, in the best case scenario, this mediocre way of sharing life with someone that you loved some time ago, but now it's just annoying. But that's the whole point. You've got to get back to that state. You've got to kind of help yourself to get back to the situation that we were so in love that we because of love we were able to do much more than we've been asked for. And there are two ways you are able to do this kind of practically to make it happen. First of all, you've got to know what's your strengths. As we said, we are overpowered in some areas, they are in some different areas. So what you want to learn is how to use your strength for your relationship rather than against your relationship. Because if I'm physically overpowered, I'm much more stronger than she does, and even more, I'm trained in martial arts. I don't want her to be afraid of me. Kind of the contrary, I want her to be sure that I will never hit her, I'll never use this strength against her. But if someone comes and try to hurt her, I'll be protective. I'll protect her, and I would know how to do this. If I'm strong, I don't want her to be afraid of my strength against her. I want her to be sure that I'll help her open the jar, and I'll help her with the suitcases when we're going to go for vacations. That's the idea, that she will be kind of aware of your strength. She will be aware of you being good at this or that, but she's not going to be afraid of it. She would respect it, but then she would know that this is something for her disposal to feel protected, feel good. And the same thing with some different things that we can be really good at, because it can be physical power, it can be your intelligence, your sense of humor, your kindness, being a gentleman, your ability to be romantic, just show that you care, even your physical look. You can use it for your relationship or against it. You can be a really handsome guy, and you can just be someone who use this your physical appearance to make your girl proud that you are with her, that you're not going to cheat, that you're just faithful, and so on. Or you can just flirt with every girl in the city and make her really uncomfortable. You see, everything you can use pro or against your relationship. So the first thing you have to learn is how to use it so she would see that everything that you have, especially your strength, are for her to build this relationship. And second, you want to understand something that some of you might be struggling when I'm saying things like help her or be leader or something like this, because you think that it's gonna diminish your personality, diminish you feeling as a guy if you do, because you're doing what she asks, what she tells you to do. But look at it this way: if you are a really self-aware person, like you really understand who you are and what you're doing, where you're going, what's your target life, you're just so sure of yourself, you see your strengths, you see your weaknesses, you don't have to prove anything to anyone, then if I know this, and even though I serve, I give her that, it's not because I'm wuss, not because I'm under her boot, not because I'm weak. It comes from complete place of strength. It's just me proving that I'm so self-aware that I don't care if anyone thinks differently, because I do it because I can. I know that it's gonna make her happy. And it's interesting because the simple example is something that I struggled years ago. I didn't know how to approach it. I love to open the door of my car for my wife, and it was great. We were just two of us. I did it all the time. But then when my friends, or especially ladies, or my pals were there, I didn't know if that's gonna be a sign of my weakness to do this, or I didn't know how to approach. And then we talked about it, and what she told me and exactly what happened. The moment I started to do publicly in front of everyone, whatever guys thought, I don't know, but especially ladies, all of them respected me like so much more, just because they saw that if I respect my wife, and I'm not afraid to do so, I'm gonna respect them as well. And then soon enough, even if guys thought that I'm wuss, seeing how ladies respect me because of that, started to happen, that guys are start to ask how will you do this, that ladies are not afraid to be in your presence, and you just able to talk with them and just build a relationship like this. So these two things will make your life, from a practical standpoint, it's gonna change your relationship completely, because you know your strength and you use it for benefit of your relationship. And second, you do this because out of your abundance, out of your self-awareness, because it's not diminishing your position, it pumps it up, it raises your position in everybody else's eyes, especially your girl. And then if you do this, and she'll see that you're involved in just giving everything you have for the relationship, tell me that she's not going to be in love with you. Tell me that if you do this because you know that it's gonna make her smile, it's gonna make her feel loved, that it's not gonna create this vibe again. It will. And trust me, because I did it many times on purpose to see if that's gonna work. And that's why everyone who says that at the beginning when we were so in love, if that happened, it'll never gonna happen again, you're completely wrong. Because it's just your ability to be a man, to know your strengths, use it for benefit of your relationship, and then boost your self-awareness by consciously doing things for your girl and making your relationship being even better. It just makes this whole vibe come again, and then you're in love. And that's why many people who see you as even complete stranger, they say, it's just easy to see that you're in love. But what they don't know, that we are over 18 years in marriage. So this is what I want you to take from this video. The bigger person you become, the easier it is to serve. Because the results of your actions are going to speak for themselves. Happy family, happy relationship, love in between you two. So in that moment, everybody around will know that you're a man with a capital M, especially your girl. So think about it and do something about it. And see you tomorrow.